Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hope you're having a wonderful morning. Welcome to my home. This is just a casual nook in my house here. No, I'm just kidding. We're here at Hotel Arts, broadcasting live. What an incredible opportunity and memorable experience this is going to be. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Mike Morrison. This is the mingling part of this session, and we're using this amazing software called Remo, which if you see on your computers, you can click around to different tables and chat with people, just like we were at the real Pride Brunch. So for the next 10-15 minutes or so, if you feel comfortable going around and meeting some people online and sharing your stories, maybe talk about what you've been doing to celebrate this very unique Pride this year, and how you've been celebrating it. Maybe you've been decorating your homes, or maybe you've been taking in some of the workshops that's been happening all week. So take this next 10-15 minutes, get your coffee ready. We're gonna have brunch together soon. So we'll see you here again in about another 10-15 minutes or so. Thanks, everyone. Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Mike Morrison. How was the mingling? Did you meet anyone? Did you go around? I love this software we're using. It's called Remo, and it really lets you sort of connect with different people, sort of like we're at the Pride Brunch. And so thank you so much for mingling, and thank you so much for being here. This is our 8th annual Pride Brunch, and it's definitely a lot different than the years past, but we pulled it off, thankfully. I know when we first announced that we were gonna, if we were gonna have a Pride Brunch at all, because of the pandemic, and it's sort of like, we're gay. This is not our first pandemic. We're used to this. So we can handle it. And living in fear in our homes while having champagne and brunch is just normal for the queer community. So we are here today, and so thank you so much for being here. So my name is Mike Morrison. You can tell that I'm delighted to be here because every year I get to come back and we get to share these stories and we get to hear about the amazing work that Camp Firefly is doing, and that this year is going to be no different, except this year you get to watch from the comfort of your own home, maybe your backyard, maybe your bedroom. Who knows? This is, we're all watching from wherever you feel comfortable. But of course, before we begin the program, I want to articulate how grateful we are to be people of Treaty 7 for taking such good care of this land, so that we may enjoy such abundance. Treaty 7 land encompasses the traditional territories of the Tsuut'ina, the Stoney Nakoda First Nations, the Blackfoot people, and it includes the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai. This land is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. We accept the responsibilities of being treaty people. And the land, as we can agree, is absolutely beautiful that we are on today. And today's, it's very special because we're enjoying this land from all over Calgary. Everyone is watching. We have over 150 people joining us today. And it's a beautiful sunny Saturday, and it's gonna snow tomorrow, so get out there afterwards. No, it's not gonna snow, too bad. Maybe. Next I wanna make sure we thank, this is hard, by the way. Normally people laugh and it's just an empty room. So thanks for bearing with us as we navigate me telling jokes to a camera. I want to thank our partners at Eat Crow, The Coop, and Yellow Door Bistro here at Hotel Arts for providing such amazing brunch menus for our guests. What a unique experience this was to sort of work with these restaurants all across the city and have you guys pick them up this morning. Hopefully the pickup went okay. What's really cool is the Minister of Health, Tyler Shandro, offered to hand deliver everyone's meals to them, but given what happens when he goes to people's driveways, we thought maybe he wouldn't be the best person to be delivering brunches to people. So thank you so much this morning for picking it up. There's a few head shakes happening behind the camera. Thank you. And so we are at Hotel Arts here today. As you can tell, this isn't my living room. We're at Hotel Arts, this beautiful setup. Thank you to them for having us here. This furniture you're seeing, also not mine. It belongs to Modern Rentals, who generously donated it so we could have this really unique sort of perspective for you. And we're using a company called BRNDD for tech, and they're streaming this, and a special shout out to them because this is a completely new way of doing an event, and it's been absolutely amazing. And this beautiful display behind me is from Balloon Story, and I think it's just incredible. It's so colorful and adds so much. So, and lastly, I want to thank the Calgary Foundation for the generous sponsorship leadership to even let this event happen. We're so appreciative of the Calgary Foundation. They do such amazing work. So normally Camp Firefly takes place in the beautiful Kananaskis, but because of COVID-19 pandemic, Center for Sexuality wasn't able to host the campers in person this year. However, they knew that youth needed the support from camp more than ever. So the center hosted them in a week-long online camp. They were able to provide the meaningful connections, support, and fun that are life-changing to these campers. And we're going to hear from some of them later on. But of course, we needed events like this still need to happen. Sorry, the camp still needs to happen, with people at home and, it's so important for youth to have people to talk to. So your support today and year round so that the center can continue to help these youth is absolutely incredible, and that all the money raised today and throughout the year ensures that no camper has to say no because of cost. So thank you so much. Just want to make sure we're on notes. Yeah. Okay. So I'm now excited and delighted to welcome Pam Krause, President and CEO of the Center for Sexuality. Center for Sexuality, of course, is one of the leading organizations doing critical work in support of the LGBTQ+ community, and Camp Firefly is just one of the incredible initiatives that they work on. They also support the GSA network and work to help create safer environments for all youth. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to my friend Pam. Hi Pam, how are you?
Mike. Lovely to see you, and thank you so much for being our host once again this year. It's different, but as you said, we've got the great support of BRNDD. We've had Ashley helping with all the organizing, and we have Hotel Arts making it an absolutely beautiful experience for us. So shout out to everyone at home. I hope you're now having some champagne or another form of cocktail to make you feel that day drunkenness that is famous, a famous part of Camp Firefly Brunch.
Well, I mean, I was saying sometimes with Pride Brunch, it's like either you're still maybe drunk from the night before, or you could also define it as pre-gaming for the Saturday night Pride party.
Right,
so, yeah, I'm admittedly somewhere in between, but here we are. So tell us, Pam, how has the Center for Sexuality been navigating this pandemic?
Well, like I think everyone in society, and certainly everyone who works in the social sector, we had to move quickly to make sure that we still had forms of support available to the youth that we serve. And knowing that people couldn't get into physical spaces to get that support, we knew we had to change immediately. So of course, like many, we changed to an online format for a lot of our services. The population we were most concerned about, quite frankly, was the LGBTQ population. When we think about gay-straight alliances, often that's the only safe place 1 hour a week that the youth has, including in Calgary, Alberta. So we think of them first, how are we going to connect? And then we were just heartbroken at the prospect of Camp Firefly not being able to happen. So you know what, we figured out how to do things online, as I said, just like everybody else. But most importantly, I think the connections we have to our volunteers, to the youth that have been involved in Camp Firefly, really also kept a community going. So when we decided to mobilize to do something different, people were there and ready to help.
I mean, that's what I've noticed so much during the pandemic is people are willing to help.
Yep.
You sort of just have to be able to ask for help.
That's
You have to be
exactly
okay with
right.
asking for help.
That's right.
And so tell us a little bit about what that online experience of Camp Firefly looked like.
Well, so it was every day for a week, and it included some pre-recorded content. Youth were split up into pods, and there were pod leaders. So there was some in-person, quote-unquote, virtual contact. There were workshops, sort of, run similarly with, one exceptional difference. And, when we reflected on it afterwards, and we will hear from a youth later, one of the things that I was really struck by is we actually did have youth be able to participate who couldn't before because they couldn't get into a physical space. It wasn't safe. So they were, spending their days online. Nobody had to know what particular content they were looking at, and they were getting all the support they needed. So you have to think about, we always have to remember, for youth that live in remote areas, youth that are really isolated, what are the new ways we can actually continue to reach youth? We know perhaps it wasn't as impactful because one of the things I love seeing out at camp is youth being in nature, youth doing things that, I know myself as an LGBTQ youth, I never felt safe doing outside stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me, and then you see that happening. So, we lost maybe that, but maybe some of the stuff we got with the safety being created, and the fantastic people like our artist in residence, who we'll hear from later, made it a super great experience. just a different experience.
And you sort of touched on it with, I think, one of the, if you look for some positive about what's happening right now, but someone who normally wouldn't be able to attend a week long was now able to attend no matter where they lived in Alberta.
Exactly.
What does Camp Firefly mean to the campers?
Camp Firefly means community, and Camp Firefly means I can be myself. And I think that is reiterated over and over every single year. I go to the opening and I see all these young people who are super scared. They don't know what the heck they've gotten themselves into. Who are all these strangers? I go back literally 2.5 days later, and there's a community and there's people running around being who they are and who they're meant to be in their lives at that time. And it is actually unbelievable. And then they all leave with a sense of ownership of themselves and a sense of leadership that they carry out into the world. So it actually is this magical experience that happens. And guess what you do? You know, the soup that you create is safety, connection, and giving people that space to be who they are. So, you know, did we recreate that this summer? I sure hope so, because I think the people that were involved were so motivated for that to be the experience.
And I think there's probably no one more resilient than LGBTQ youth.
Absolutely.
You know, they persevere, they, you know, to be themselves and to be happy and things
Absolutely.
like that. Yeah. Besides the brunch today, and again, thank you to everyone who purchased tickets, how can people support LGBTQ youth here in Alberta?
Well, there's so many things, right? The Centre for Sexuality, we are doing work across the province, whether it's training professionals, supporting gay-straight alliances, ensuring that youth have comprehensive sex ed that includes inclusion of LGBTQ youth. But the Centre certainly isn't the only organization. There's great organizations like Skipping Stone, Calgary Outlink. I could go on, the Rainbow Elders. I could go on and about all the great services that are expanding and growing, because now we know the needs. You know, before we were so afraid to seek anything out, and look what's happening now that the needs are known. So what my motivation is in the months and years to come is, how do we create this in different sort of geographical communities, including rural and remote. And if we can take one positive away, perhaps from the pandemic, it is maybe we really are now seeing it's possible to reach people who aren't just around us. And so that, for me, I hope is where we can go. And, you know, obviously a lot of support is needed to make sure that can happen in different communities.
So what do you see for the Centre for Sexuality and Camp Firefly for the next year? Do you have some goals in mind to sort of help navigate this?
Well, I think what we need to do is stay connected. So, you know, we're doing virtual GSA meetings online. We'll keep connecting with our Camp Firefly youth. And, you know, really hoping to build that we can do an in-person camp next year, but now we have a long time to plan if we can't, and just figure out different ways to make it a super great experience moving forward.
And the best way people can help Camp Firefly and Centre for Sexuality is, you know, cash donations.
That's right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it keeps programs running. So, you know, when people support, and again, I just can't say enough about the Calgary Foundation as a sponsor for today, and all the other people, including yourself, Mike, who show such great commitment and support, not just to the Centre, but most importantly, to all the people that we serve.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, we did the Pride boxes a few weeks ago,
Absolutely.
and we had 300 people buy boxes all around the city.
Absolutely.
And I think that, I mean, it was a lot of work, and we're thankful for TD for helping us with that, but that was just a few emails and a few ideas, and then, you know, we raised lots of money. So if it's donating to the Centre for Sexuality, or maybe it's just, you know, a neighborhood yard sale, there's so many ways you can continue to help organizations like Camp Firefly and Centre for Sexuality. So excellent. Well, thank you so much, Pam, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride to you.
Yes, it's exciting. Very good. Okay, well, why don't you stay here just for a minute, and then we're going to introduce our next speaker. But so thank you so much for Pam. Now, I know some of you had ordered champagne, or maybe you're waiting. So now's the time to let's crack open our champagne. Pacific Wine and Spirits provided this excellent I don't know how to say it. Taitinger champagne in support of Camp Firefly. I got it. I'm not classy, so I'm going to open this up. But while I open it, we're going to introduce you to our first performer. Their name is Pixie, and they're a camper. At Camp Firefly, and blew everyone away with their performance. So we're going to check that performance out. Everyone, please welcome Pixie.
Hello. Hi. Hello. My name is Pixie, and I'm a 15-year-old non-binary person from Calgary, Alberta, and I'm going to be playing ukulele for you. I also have Tourette syndrome, which makes me have weird noises and movements, so I'm not going to apologize for that throughout the song, but they will be kind of visible and heard. I've got miles of regrets and confusing friends, but perhaps it's just my stupid head in the end, thinking I wait or make my way home. You said go, making up problems that just don't exist. Why do I let myself dream like this? We're floating away, my body's in space, we are going home. Did it do? Missing pieces of my skull, also on patches of my own soul. It's nothing that you or I can do, so let the stars fall, 'cause from up here the sky is my thoughts, and we're all so small. My heart and the earth, they share the same rule. It starts with love and ends with you. But don't go outside, it's dangerous tonight. Without me here right by your side, take it slow, you'll know which way to go. Pour out your soul, take your time, and we'll be just fine. Missing pieces of my skull, also on patches of my own soul.
Amazing job, Pixie. Thank you so much. Hopefully you're all at home applauding. That was such a great performance, and hopefully Pixie can hear the applause. It's a great performance, and we're excited that we were able to show that to you today. So up next, I'm excited to introduce you to someone with a very special role at Camp Firefly. Marshall Viel was the artist in residence that Pam was talking about earlier at the camp this year, and plays an important part in bringing art, creativity, and mentorship to the camp experience. Marshall joins us today with their drag alter ego, Mavis Von Tress.
Hi, my name is Mavis Von Trees, and I am a Camp Fireflyer. One of my most absolute favorite things about camp is it really does give you the freedom to really express yourself in a really honest way. You know, I feel like, you know, as queer folks, we don't necessarily grow up, you know, being our true selves. We grow up being a part of who we actually are. And one of the, you know, most amazing things about camp is it really does give us a really nice, safe, and brave space to really be our true selves in a really honest way. As queer folks, we really do find connection through our expression and how we express ourselves. And being at a place where you can, you know, be out in the wild and stuff, you know, just really surrounding yourself with other queers, it's just such an amazing experience. You know, you get to learn so much about the broader queer community that is out there. Even though you might not think that you have a lot of support, there is support out there somewhere, and whether it's in the woods or, you know, at a place like Camp Firefly. It really does make you feel really affirmed and loved, and that's a really special thing. I did a Camp Firefly last summer, and so it was just really, really special that the first time I got to do camp was, you know, at queer camp. And one of the most amazing things about being at camp is it really showed me that I could hold an audience and stuff, and I could host. And I really do think that it was the sort of braveness that everybody there gave me that really made me feel like, yes, I could go in here and I can host in drag and stuff like that. And it really was a special place for me, I think, to really find the strength to be really solid in myself. And that is one thing that I will never forget. I think, I mean, I would definitely recommend that, you know, if you are a queer youth out there and you are wanting a place to really, you know, be who you are, and you're wanting folks to just like support you in the most honest of ways, whether it's, you know, you want to be referred to as they, them for like, you know, a day or the weekend that you're there. I think it's just about those really, really small things that Camp Firefly does. And I think that's one of the reasons why I would recommend that anyone who's sort of, you know, questioning or is curious about, you know, what it means to be queer, definitely go there, because what I found is it really did, you know, as I said, it gave me a lot of strength, but it also affirmed a lot of the ways that I thought about myself, but it also expanded my mind as well. You know, they talked about relationships with yourself, and I think that is such a basic thing that I think any youth needs. It really is about, you know, folks leaning on each other, giving each other strength, affirming each other, and just really showing others that you can be who you want to be.
Thank you so much, Mavis, for sharing your incredible experience with us. We're now incredibly lucky that Mavis is going to share her art with us. So fill up your champagne or your coffee, and please welcome back Mavis. Take it away.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. When you've got worries, all the noise and the hurry seems to help, I know. Downtown, just listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk where the neon signs are pretty. How can you lose? The lights are much brighter there. You can't forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, so go downtown. Things will be great when you're downtown. No finer place for sure, downtown. Everything's waiting for you. Downtown. Don't hang around and let your problems surround you. There are movie shows downtown. Maybe you know some little places to go to where they never close. Downtown, just listen to the rhythm of a gentle bossa nova. You'll be dancing with them too before the night is over. Happy again. The lights are much brighter there. You can't forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, so go downtown, where all the lights are bright. Downtown, waiting for you tonight. Downtown, you're gonna be
Thank you so much, Mavis. What a performance. I was sort of chuckling at what that must have looked like to the people driving by, filming that. So that was actually shot by BRNDD, which is the company that's also streaming today. And so they're doing an absolutely fantastic job. And Mavis looked so beautiful. I was thinking this morning as I was putting on non-sweat clothes for the first time in 5 months, how uncomfortable this all feels, and Mavis is just running around Calgary looking beautiful in those outfits. So thanks to her and thanks to everyone that helped make that video. Now this is the part of the program, it's usually the crying time. So you're gonna wanna reach for those tissues because this is where we hear from some of the campers that went to Camp Firefly, and we hear why it's so important, hear firsthand what Camp Firefly means to them. So joining us today is Sean Tofin. Sean is here to share why camp was such an important experience in their life. Please join me in welcoming Sean.
Hi everyone, my name is Sean. I've been at camp the past 3 years and it's an amazing place. Especially this year, it was super important because so many of us are isolated and at home. It's a super great way to find our community and basically to help us feel less alone. When it's in person, it's even more special, but when it's online, it's still an amazing way to get us to meet people exactly like us. We get to make friends who know our struggles and know what we feel like, and we keep those friends even after camp. The friends I made my first year at camp 3 years ago, I still talk with. I send letters with one of the people I connected with, so every few months it's fun to get a fun piece of mail. Another thing about camp is we get to see queer adults, which is great because we can see that, yeah, we do get to grow up and we do get to live happy lives, and we do get to move away from the parts of our lives that we don't want to be a part of. We get to live full and happy lives, even though we're trans, and through our transness, we get to be happy. When camp is in person, we get to go out into nature and be part of an overnight camp, which for many queer and trans people isn't something that we get to be a part of very often just because of the logistics. But Camp Firefly makes it so easy, and we just get to be outside of the world that usually places so much stress on us. So we get to be out in nature, we get to do sports, we get to play basketball, we get to get sort of lost in the woods. We get to go swimming in freezing water, we get to craft together, we get to take pictures. We get to do basically what we want, and it's the perfect world. It's what we wish the world would be, but it isn't quite yet. At camp, we get to just be kids in a world that doesn't often let us just be kids. We get to feel respected and even more than accepted. We get to feel like we shouldn't be ashamed of anything, that who we are is perfect, and there should never be a reason for us to hide ourselves. Camp would never be what it is without the amazing work from all of the volunteers, so thank you so much to all of them. They are truly amazing. We look up to them so much. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Sean, for sharing those words and, really sharing something that's so personal to you. We appreciate it, and we're all here for you today. We, people all around the city are huddled around their computers, helping raise funds for Camp Firefly. So people like Sean and, queer youth across the city and across Alberta can have those experiences that they talked about. So thank you so much to Sean, and thank you to you folks again for being here and helping support letting this all happen. And it's always inspiring to hear people like Sean speak, because I did not speak like that when I was their age. I find that the youth of today are just so well spoken and they're so confident, and people like Sean are going to leave Camp Firefly and go into the community and continue to help this community grow and be successful. So that's just an iota of the amazing work that Camp Firefly does and what you guys are doing here today to help us raise funds for them. So we're excited to have another performance. Pixie we had on earlier, they're back for another performance. So let's maybe dance a little bit around the house. Let's have a little bit of fun. But everyone, please welcome back Pixie.
He stays at home from work this time. He's never really told his wife. He's never really told a lie, but this time he decides it's alright. It's alright. No one really knows his mind, and no one knows behind his eyes. The man deserves a medal, but he's never really won a prize before. He goes to lock the door. He's fallen in love. He knows it's enough. The world looks down and frowns. Get up, Johnny boy, get up, Johnny boy, get up, 'cause the world has left you lying on the ground. You're my pride and joy, you're my pride and joy. Get up, Johnny boy, 'cause we all need you now. And I will carry all your names, and I will carry all your shame, and I will carry all your name, and I will carry all your shame. Get up, Johnny boy, get up, Johnny boy, get up, 'cause the world has left you lying on the ground. You're my pride and joy, you're my pride and joy. Get up, Johnny boy, 'cause we all need you now. Thank you for having me and listening to me sing. Camp Firefly has been a life-changing event for me personally. When I was first going to Camp Firefly, last year when I first went to Camp Firefly, I was still struggling to know who I am. I was a young non-binary person, not understanding that it was okay to be non-binary. Camp Firefly taught me that it is okay to be who I am, and that it's okay to embrace my weirdness, my crazy style of fashion, my love for music. All of that was accepted at Camp Firefly. My pronouns, my name, they've all been accepted there, and is a very important part of who I am now, knowing that I am safe there. I have made many friends through there. Pretty much all of my friends I've met through Camp Firefly. It is an amazing experience for young LGBT youth such as myself.
Thank you so much, Pixie, for sharing your talents and your experience with us. Stories like that, really remind us again why we're here and why we need to keep raising funds for Camp Firefly. Transition. Look at that. We got 2 cameras going on, everyone. How cool is that? This is really fun. This has been fun. Thank you to everyone for participating. This event looks so much different than it did in years past, and you stuck around and you continue to support Camp Firefly and the Center for Sexuality. So I've thanked you a bunch, and I'm going to keep thanking you because we really, really do appreciate it. So before we go back to the mingling, we're basically at the end of our program. I do want to remind you that, of course, the Center for Sexuality is still taking donations, and it's about $300 to send a camper to Camp Firefly. So you can think of it as like every $300 you're allowing another youth to attend without having to worry about the cost, without having to worry about those financial difficulties that it might occur to attend a camp. So every $300 is sending a youth to camp. So please consider that. An annual donation is less than a loonie a day, so something to think about. But your donation ensures that no camper is ever turned away because of financial need. please help. We want, make sure that kids can attend these camps and have this chance that maybe many of us here in the sort of the old queer community, as we refer to ourselves, we didn't get chances to, and to be in a place where we could have been surrounded with people like us and people who support us and things like that. It would have been incredible. So that's what we're doing here today, is trying to help as many kids experience those things as possible. So before we wrap up, we want to make sure that we thank everyone, and we're going to bring Pam Krause back up on stage if you want to come join us. But really, thank you to everyone who helped make today happen. Thank you to Hotel Arts for hosting us, and the restaurants Eat Crow, The Coup, and Yellow Door Bistro for getting on board with this really fun and different way of having brunch together. As always, it's my pleasure to be here hosting with you guys. And yeah, Pam, how are you? How was brunch?
Good. I loved my brunch. Thank you to Hotel Arts. The Yellow Door Bistro did a fantastic brunch, and pina coladas, and people are having champagne. So there aren't many of us, but we're certainly having a great time. And really, I want to take a moment to thank everyone who spoke or performed today. It was very meaningful to have your participation, so thank you so much. Again, a shout out to BRNDD for making it just an excellent, like being at a movie. It was just so fantastic, so thank you so much. Again, to Calgary Foundation for always being such generous partners and sponsors in our work. And most importantly, I want to thank you, Mike. Yeah.
Don't.
Mike just always says yes to us. Mike has a business. Mike has been devastated as a small business owner through the pandemic. And when we say to Mike, hey, would you help us out with something? There's Mike helping. Those Pride boxes that he mentioned sort of in passing was all Mike's idea. He put a ton of labor into, not just a couple of emails, a ton of labor into making that happen. So thank you, Mike, for being part of our community, for being part of the center. I too wish that we had a camp when certainly when I was a younger LGBTQ youth, and I also wish I had you as my friend.
Oh.
So thank you so much for everything.
If I could touch you, I would.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
And I just, again, want to thank all of the people who took a chance on a different way of doing an event for participating today. And I also wanted to make sure I said a thank you and goodbye to our Camp Firefly coordinator for many years, Hillary Much, who put a lot of effort, created great relationship with youth, and we wish her well as she starts the University of Victoria Law School on Monday. So thanks again, and thank you again to you, Mike.
Thank you so much, Pam. Before we wrap up, I'm going to put this toque on the way out, and you can actually order these. We normally sell them at the Pride Brunch, and some amazing volunteers make these hand-knitted Pride hats. They're $20, and you can, in the link, in the confirmation for your link to come here today, you can find more information on how to get these wonderful toques. But it's a great, I got this, and I got my Pride mask. So it's a Pride superhero.
Oh,
You're all
wow.
set? There we go.
Well, happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. And again, thank you so much to everyone for participating. We loved having you here. And please continue mingling. A big part of Pride is meeting new people and communicating. And let's not forget, go outside and decorate your front yards. We still have a few days left of Pride. Get out there and keep supporting Pride. Happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride.
We'll see you next year.
Woo!